Mic check 1 2. It's the Y2K Collector coming at you with a late night weekend recap. This weekend felt very crazy, a lot to go over, and to be quite honest with you, not a lot of what I'm going to talk about right now has a ton to do with video games. So if you want to click off, that's totally fine. But this is kind of like a more of like a late night, introspective, kind of thoughtful type of video. Just kind of reflecting on a few things that happened. We'll start with the good stuff first. First off, the NBA season is officially over, right? The Oklahoma City Thunder have won the NBA Finals, and Shea Gilgeous-Alexander has done something that hasn't been done in, I believe, 25 years. He is the regular season MVP, the Western Conference Finals MVP, the NBA Finals MVP, an NBA champion, and the NBA scoring champion, all in one season. I mean, geez Louise, the only thing missing was like defensive player of the year. And this guy, I don't know, call him Brawley at that point because he would have been like the perfect NBA player. I can't imagine what his NBA 2K ranking is going to be in the next NBA 2, like NBA 2K 26. Geez, Shea Gilgis, his his player ranking has to be like 101, So I don't know. We'll see what happens there, but in a way, I'm kind of glad that the NBA season is over. It's been a bit of a different type of season for me. I come from the generation of, I was a kid during the heyday of Jordan. I was in high school during like the heyday of like Kobe, T Mac, Vince, and then when I was really watching basketball, that was when it was about like Steph, KD, LeBron, and so I've kind of been able to see three of the greatest eras kind of go by, and tonight really feels like a new era in NBA history. And so I'm excited for the younger generation, kids that are in their teens all the way into their 20s. You're going to have a lot of really fun basketball to watch over the next few decades. So it's sad for me because it just marks a true end to a lot of just a lot of really great memories. This time 10 years ago, I mean, Steph Curry was winning a championship. In fact, I think this time 10 years ago, Steph was the unanimous MVP, if I'm not mistaken. Somebody let me know down in the comments if I'm wrong. But yeah, so a lot has changed in the last decade. And then in other news, Kevin Durant is getting traded to the Houston Rockets. So that means next season is going to be crazy, right? So we'll have to see. A lot of people think that what's going on in OKC is a dynasty, that we're witnessing a new dynasty. If that's the case, then like I said, that'll be really exciting for Oklahoma City fans. Although I think that this year was filled with a lot of parity, um, and I think really what kind of separated the teams was really youth and energy, and that's why you saw the teams that kind of really stood out towards the end. That's why those teams stood out. They were younger teams. And so we'll just have to see what happens next season. But I don't know how interested I'll be in the NBA, to be honest, moving forward. My era is over, and it's not to say that this isn't good basketball, but it's just I don't feel as invested anymore in it. So we'll have to see. So that's one thing that occurred over the weekend. Another thing that occurred over the weekend is all this stuff in Iran. I'm not a political person, but this just kind of casts a very, I don't know. I feel like this has cast a whole gray aura over the summer. In a way, it kind of feels like we have to now be looking over our shoulder for the rest of the summer. It's like, when you, it's like, if America was like a gang and we attacked another gang, now it's like we have to watch over our shoulder in fear, out of fear for retaliation for the rest of the summer or until they retaliate. And it's just never really a good feeling. Obviously I'm on the East Coast. I've lived in New York. And I remember during like the whole anthrax and the whole 9/11 deal, there was a lot of tension in the air. in New York at that time, we were just scared. We didn't know what the next attack was going to be. It was just a very scary time. And I feel like now we're back to that. And it's crazy because these things always seem to happen in the summer. Like it blows my mind how all this stuff always goes down in the summer, man. Like, I don't know, but it's very unfortunate. And speaking of summer, yesterday was the first day of summer, so we got to experience our first summer weekend this weekend. And I mean, it's almost like as soon as summer came, it just became unbearably hot because I don't know where you're at, but on the East Coast, we're it's the thermometer is reading damn near triple digits, and it feels like 110, 120, which is what I was afraid of because it's kind of the same thing that happened last year. But when it's this hot, this type of heat is oppressive. It makes you not want to go outside. It makes you not want to do anything. It really just makes you want to stay inside in the AC. And in fact, doctors kind of recommend you stay indoors when it does get this hot. So it's kind of, it sucks because you want to be able to get out and enjoy your summer, but you really can't enjoy it when you're being slow smoked like a piece of baby, like a slab of baby back ribs, standing in your backyard. You feel like a stinking brisket out there getting cooked in the sun. So that's not cool. But yeah, just a lot of things happening this summer. You got the heat, you've got this whole political stuff. The NBA final season is over, and then you have the whole Switch 2 fiasco, right? So many things happening in in so many different genres and categories. I know I'm all over the place, but I did say this was going to be introspective. But then you have the whole Switch 2 thing happening, and the Switch 2, I think, was supposed to be like a ray of sunshine this summer. It was supposed to be something that could kind of distract us from, all the real world issues and, a lot of, my favorite sports now being kind of in their off season. Football's in its off season, basketball's now and it's officially in its off season. I mean, yeah, we got baseball going on, but I'm not a huge baseball guy. Yeah, and I'm not like huge into soccer or anything like that. So there's really nothing really to watch on TV at this point. Like once sports are over, there's really almost no point in having cable because there's really nothing to watch. And so this is kind of usually the point in the summer where I start to turn back to video games and retro games. And I think the Switch 2 would have been a great distraction, but with all the controversy surrounding it, it just seems like something I don't really even want to touch or get involved with until all this keycard stuff gets sorted out and we start to see more titles for it. We just need to see more. I need to see more before I can get too invested into it. But thankfully, I have retro video games. Retro video games are constant, they're stable. You know what you're going to get from a retro game, you know what you're going to get from a cartridge. And that's one of the reasons why I love having a retro video game collection. I don't think I could ever sell my collection. I don't think I could ever get rid of the games that I thoroughly enjoy. My Dreamcast collection is a huge part, like one of my favorites. My Saturn collection, my PlayStation 1 collection. Those are some of the favorite pieces of my collection is really like my older stuff. And then obviously I have a whole cabinet for all my Sega Genesis and Super Nintendo and NES games. So I'm going to be playing a lot of retro this summer. I foresee it at this point. I am going to be playing a lot of retro. I do plan on streaming um, some of the gameplay for what I do. I don't know if I'm going to be able to get an Elgato right away so that I can stream properly. I may just do the bootleg cheapo way and just point my phone at my screen and hope that you guys can make out what's going on the CRT. But yeah, man, probably just going to be doing some gaming. I'm going to continue to come out with some YouTube videos and just talk to the Y2K community. I love to see how much we've grown, man. I felt like just the other day we cracked 7K. I think we're almost at 7,200 now. It would be amazing if we could hit 10K before the year is over. I don't know if that's possible. Guess we'll have to see. But I think it would be pretty awesome if we could get to 10K. But if we don't, who cares, man? I'm happy with the channel, however large or small it is. I never really ask you guys to subscribe because this is a subscribe at your own will type of channel. I can't guarantee that I'll say things that you like. I can't always guarantee that I'll make sense. I may be wrong from time to time, but what you're going to get on this channel at the end of the day is authenticity. I get a lot of people, even to this day, who try to come on my channel and just talk crap. I'm going to troll the hell out of you if you come on if you come on my channel and you disagree with something that I have to say, then at least explain what you find wrong with my point of view. And if I'm wrong, by all means, correct me. Offer the knowledge. Provide the knowledge that will help us all understand better, right? But just coming on the channel and like saying you're dumb, you're stupid, you're this, you're that, it's either going to get you blocked or I'm going to troll you. One of those two things. I'm never going to take those comments seriously. The only people that I take seriously are people who genuinely want to have serious discussions. We're all entitled to our opinions. We're all entitled to think what we think and feel how we feel. Um, no one here not many of us work for Nintendo, right? So a lot of the comments that I get are from people who I'm pretty sure don't work for Nintendo. They don't have a master's degree in video game history. They're not like gaming scholars or authorities on all things gaming. This is all perspective. Video games are all perspective based. I mean, yeah, obviously you can know some facts about a game, like the frame rate and the developer and the team that created it and the characters and the storyline. And a lot of that is important, but your reaction to the way a game makes you feel, the gameplay, how people feel about a video game company, how people feel about a console, their idea of value, of how much value they're getting from it, or how little value they're getting from it. A lot of those thoughts and concepts are really perspective based, so it's really hard to, definitively say if a person's right or wrong. How can you say that someone is wrong for not liking Gradius 5? I mean, if a person says, I hate Gradius 5, are they an idiot? No, they're not an idiot. They just don't like Gradius 5. It is what it is, right? Like, who cares? We're all entitled to our opinion. So it's going to be a fun year because every once in a while I still get the numbskulls who try to come on the channel. Like I said, I'm just going to troll you. If you want to have healthy debate, healthy discussion, if you want to offer reasonings for why something's right or wrong, I'm always going to be here. I'm always going to be down for that. But yeah, we're just here to have fun, man. It's gonna be here to have fun. I have a feeling it's gonna be a slightly stressful summer, all things video game aside. I think video games aside, like I think the real world is gonna be very troublesome. Just when I watch the news, looking at everything that's going on, and you are blessed, right? If the thing that makes you, if the thing that's making you the most upset today is the Switch 2, you are blessed. I hope you understand that because there are people who are in a country somewhere that just got lit up by a rocket. Someone's house got destroyed by a rocket. And I'm not talking about Iran because there's wars and things happening all over the world and not everything is televised. We don't see everything. We don't hear everything. We live in a very, what's the word? We live in a very protected bubble where we deal with first world problems like not having fast enough internet or this person didn't make my coffee the right way or they messed up on my food order, or these are first world problems, right? So I could never, ever, ever take any of this stuff serious to the point where I actually get so upset about it. It just doesn't make sense. There's just too many other real things happening in life. There's too many other real things happening in the world for people to get that wrapped up in it. It's all entertainment. It's all for fun. And we do this to distract ourselves from the issues that are really going on out there because there are some big ones. Oh yeah, there are definitely some big ones. So just up on a late night, figured I'd drop this for the Y2K crew for anyone who's up late with me. Yeah, hopefully you had a good weekend. It's going to be a busy week. If you're working this week, carpe diem, man. Seize the moment, make the most of the day, make the most of the week, do everything you can. I think this week I'm going to make an edited video. I have some time this week. So I think I'm going to do something a little bit more edited, something a little bit more introspective again, but in a more edited format. And I'll probably be doing some lives this week so I can connect with with the community. But until then, rest easy, take care. It's the Y2K Collector. Take it easy.